All right, teachers, let's be honest. Anyone else out there have like a million browser tabs open right now?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, it's like between, lesson planning and then research and then
Yeah.
those times you fall down like the online shopping rabbit hole.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to keep it all straight.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, today we're actually diving into an article called Clearing Browsing History.
Okay.
And it's kind of got some interesting tips that I think can actually save us
Rick?
a lot of time and headaches down the road.
I mean, because who really has time for digital housekeeping, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And it's more than just having a clean browser.
Right.
You know, it's about making tech work for us,
Yeah.
not against us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing's worse than when you're in the middle of a lesson and like an app freezes
Yeah.
or your browser is
Wow.
just taking forever to load.
The worst.
The worst.
Yeah.
But this article makes this really cool comparison. It says that a cluttered browsing history, it's kind of like that stack of ungraded papers that we all have.
Oh, I like that.
Like a few stray sheets, it's
Yeah.
no big deal. But once it starts piling up, you're like drowning.
Totally. You just want to run away.
You just want to run away. Yeah, and that's kind of how it is with our browsers too.
It is. It really is.
If we just neglect it, it can lead to like all sorts of tech problems.
For sure. I mean, slow loading times, apps crashing,
Yeah.
those dreaded page not found errors. It's crazy how much a little digital cleaning can make a difference.
It can make a huge difference, yeah. So I think we all know the problem, right? But like, why do we put it off? It's fear. I think the article really nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
It's fear. We are terrified of losing those open tabs. Lesson plans, research articles. Maybe that recipe for 5-minute fudge you've been meaning to try.
It does. It feels like closing a chapter on a book you're still reading.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then there's also that fear of like restarting our computer.
Oh, yeah.
Like what if something goes wrong? What if I lose all my passwords?
I know. But think of it this way. Restarting your computer, it's like giving it a coffee break. It gets to clear out all those temporary files.
Okay.
Install updates, just kind of refresh itself so it can perform at its best.
So it's not like starting from scratch.
No.
Just like hitting the reset button.
Exactly.
Okay, and I think the article mentioned doing this like regularly, ideally like once a week.
Yeah, think of it like preventative maintenance.
Right.
Like taking your car in for an oil change.
Okay.
You might not see a difference right away.
Right.
But over time, it can really prevent those big problems down the road.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so we know why we should do it, but like how do we actually make this happen? Because I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of free time to spend on like digital decluttering.
Nobody does. But the good news is there are some pretty easy tricks to make this whole thing a lot less painful.
I like easy tricks.
Me too. The article, it recommends using a tool like OneTab to wrangle all those tabs you have open. OneTab, yeah. It basically lets you put all those open tabs into one list.
Oh, whoa.
So it frees up your browser and your mind.
So instead of having like 50 tabs open,
yeah,
I just have this one neat little list.
Exactly.
Okay, I can get behind that. But what if I need to go back to those tabs later?
You can. OneTab, it keeps them all safe and sound until you need them. You can even group them into different categories so it's easy to find them later.
Oh, that's handy. So it's kind of like having those color-coded folders.
Yeah, exactly.
But for my digital stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, that's brilliant. The article also talks about bookmarking, but, my bookmark folders can get just as messy as my browser tabs if I'm not careful.
I hear that. One thing I like to do is use really descriptive folder names and subfolders to keep things organized. Like, for example, you could have a main folder for lesson planning with subfolders for each subject or grade level.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to delete bookmarks you don't need anymore.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's like cleaning out your closet.
Okay, so out with the old, in with the new.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, what about clearing the browsing history?
Yeah.
I know we should do it, but I always worry about like losing important logins or saved passwords.
Right. A lot of browsers will let you keep that stuff while still clearing your browsing history. So in Chrome, for example, you can choose to clear everything but your passwords and other sign-in data.
Oh, so it's not like an all or nothing situation.
No, not at all.
Okay, good. And clearing your browsing history isn't just about speed and performance either. It's also about like protecting your privacy and security.
Exactly, yeah. Our browsing history can say a lot about us.
It really can. Like it's like a digital diary almost.
Yeah, pretty much. It can show your shopping habits, your research interests,
Oh.
even your late night online shopping sprees.
Oops.
Right? Busted. So yeah, it's good to minimize that digital footprint for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so we talked about clearing history, managing tabs.
Mm-hmm.
What about those updates? You know, the article says we should be installing them regularly,
Yes.
but I'll be honest, I hit remind me later more often than not.
Yeah, I get it. It's tempting to put it off, but
That's it.
those updates, they're really important for keeping your computer secure and running smoothly.
Okay.
Think of them like digital vaccines for your device.
Oh, okay.
They help protect against viruses, malware, all those nasty things that can cause problems.
So I'm basically skipping my annual flu shot
Pretty much, yeah.
if I ignore those.
Okay.
You've convinced me. Good. And the good news is that most operating systems, they give you the option to automate updates. So you don't even have to think about it.
Oh, so they can just like install overnight or something.
Yeah, exactly. You can set it to whatever time works best for you.
Game changer.
Right.
I am setting that up tonight.
Good.
No more update roulette for me. While we're talking about automation,
Yes.
the article also mentions like setting a regular reminder to restart your computer.
Yes.
Like something as simple as a Friday afternoon reboot
Yeah.
can really make a difference.
It can. It's like scheduling a little spa day for your computer.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
A digital spa day.
Okay. It gets to relax, recharge.
Get ready for the week ahead.
I love it. You know, what I really liked about this article was how
Yeah.
it used humor to talk about all this. Like, it compares our computers to toddlers.
Oh, yes.
Which, I mean, if you think about it, it's so true. If we don't let them rest, if we don't clean up after them,
They're going to throw a tantrum at the worst possible time.
they will, especially in the middle of an important lesson or presentation.
Oh, for sure. They know exactly when to act up.
Like, they can sense it.
Yes. But just like with toddlers, a little patience, a little routine,
Yes.
and maybe a little chocolate
Or coffee.
or coffee in this case can go a long way.
Exactly. A little humor, a little self-care.
Yeah,
It makes the whole process more enjoyable.
it does. And, it's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So we don't have to become like digital minimalists overnight.
No.
It's just about making small changes that make our lives a little bit easier.
Exactly. And then that frees up more time and energy for
Yeah.
the things that we love.
Exactly. Like spending time with family and friends.
Yes.
Pursuing our hobbies.
Uh-huh.
Maybe perfecting that 5-minute fudge recipe.
Maybe. Yeah. Speaking of which, the article had this funny little reminder at the end.
It basically said that like sometimes the best reward for like tackling our tech to-do list is like a little treat.
Ooh, I like that.
Like that 5-minute fudge recipe we keep talking
a
about.
little celebration for conquering our digital clutter.
Exactly. So speaking of conquering, like what are some other small tech habits that we can like incorporate into our routine to make things even smoother?
That's a good question. It's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day and let these things just kind of pile up, but it's, just like with our physical spaces, decluttering our digital lives can really make a big difference for our well-being.
Oh, for sure. I know, like, when my desktop is a mess, I feel like my brain is a mess.
Yes.
Like, I can't focus.
Totally. But when everything's organized, you can just breathe, and focus better.
You can think clearly. Yeah.
Exactly. It's about, creating that digital environment that supports our work and our creativity, not one that, like, makes it harder.
Right.
And it really doesn't have to be a big thing. Little things like unsubscribing from those emails that you never read, or organizing your files into folders, even just taking a few minutes each day to just tidy up can make a big difference.
That makes sense. It's kind of like how we were talking about before. Like, we feel more in control when we're on top of our tech.
Exactly. When we feel like we're in charge of our digital life, we don't feel so stressed and overwhelmed by it, and then that frees up more time to focus on what really matters.
Exactly. Spending time with loved ones, hobbies.
Yeah.
Maybe perfecting that 5-minute fudge recipe.
That's a good one.
So to wrap up, I think it's all about embracing those small but mighty tech habits.
Yes.
Clear your browsing history, restart your computer, make sure you're doing those updates.
Yes.
And your tech will thank you. You'll be amazed at how much smoother
For sure.
and more enjoyable your digital life can be.
Absolutely.
And then maybe you'll even have more time.
Yeah.
For those little indulgences,
Like coffee or fudge.
like coffee or fudge, exactly.
Well, until next time, stay tech savvy and happy teaching.